a post from the Ring channel, Ring Magazine channel. They are reporting that this fight is pretty much going to be made. Hamza Sheeraz versus Diego Pacheco. And I believe Hamza Sheeraz is going to get held like he ain't never been held before, man. Diego Pacheco held the hell out of his opponent. You know, he hugged his way to a victory in his last fight. Performance. I think he low-key got a gift. But here he is, man, coming off that boring performance. He's getting an opportunity to face Hamza Sheeraz. Sheeraz coming off a spectacular over Edgar Berlanga. So it's just kind of weird how they are making this fight happen. I believe this is a WBO ordered fight. I'm not sure if this is an elimination bout or whatever. We know that the belts have been vacated or are going to be vacated at 168 because Bud Crawford has retired. So the belts are going to probably be dispersed. There's a possibility that the winner might be upgraded to the WBO full champ. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with this. But as far as the fight, the matchup, I'm not really excited about the matchup. Hamza Sheeraz, you know, he had that questionable performance at 160, Carlos Adames, where he pretty much got a gift in that fight. And then he goes up to 168 to challenge Edgar Berlanga, where he knocks him out. You know, so a lot of people feel like, you know, that's the better division for him. But I want to say this, that one thing I noticed about watching the sport of boxing over these years, whether we're talking about a promoter, whether we're talking about a section body president, whether we're talking about just any high-ranking person in boxing, they always have favorites. And it's no different with Riyadh Season and Turki Al-Sheikh. It seems like they are going to make sure that Hamza Sheeraz gets all the opportunities to be successful. You know, so, I mean, we've seen these favors. We've seen Mauricio, how he did with Canelo, you know, raising, you know, clenbuterol levels so that he can get a pass to use, you know, performance-enhancing drugs and still get away with it. We have seen how people have treated Ryan Garcia. You know, all these people got favorites. You know, Hamza Sheeraz ended up getting that gift versus Carlos Adames. So there's going to be certain circumstances that take place to where the integrity of Riyadh Season or Turki Al-Sheikh is going to be put on display. It's going to be put on the display. And then when it comes down to it, you know, a lot of these people are just going to side with their countrymen or these people that they really got a lot invested in and have a certain fan base that they're trying to build up from their country or whatever. And that's what Hamza Sheeraz is, man. He is the, you say the poster boy or the golden, quote unquote, golden boy of Saudi Arabia, if you will. You know, seems like he's one of Turk's favorites. And a lot of people have talked about how they're going to try to make, you know, Hamza Sheeraz line him up for the Canelo fight. You know, we already know that Canelo's already announced that he's not going to be back until next year, next September. They were eyeing, or there were talks about the opponent, but with Bud retiring, we don't know. Unless it's a hefty bag to come out of retirement, that fight may not happen. So it could be a situation where Canelo comes back and then there's a belt on the line, vacant belt on the line. They could have the WBC and the WBO belt. You know, the winner out of this, Hamza Sheeraz and Diego, could be a potential opponent for Canelo next year. You know, I could definitely see that happening. But Pablo, and what's going on, Black 16? Oh, Black, what's going on, dog? Well, like I said, I'm not a fan of this particular matchup. I don't think that it makes for an exciting fight. You know, Hamza Sheeraz is going to be the one, you know, pressing forward. I believe he's going to be the one letting his hands go, taking all the risk. Diego Pacheco is going to be on the back foot, you know, looking to, you know, keep distance, measure with his jab, and keep it an outside fight. Keep it in the middle of the ring and keep Hamza Sheeraz on at the end of the jab. But Hamza Sheeraz, I believe, is going to try to be very disruptive, walk Diego Pacheco down, and you know, put him to the test, man. Put him to the test and make him extremely uncomfortable. Diego Pacheco looked extremely uncomfortable versus an unknown contender out of Ghana or wherever he was from, some African dude. And Diego didn't look well, man. It didn't look like he can handle an aggressive, strong, come forward pressure fighter. You know, and we've seen that Berlanga had success, Sheeraz had success versus Berlanga when he applied that pressure, educated pressure. So that would be the game plan, keys to victory for as educated pressure. And, you know, yeah, man, just, you know, let your hands go, be first. Diego Pacheco wants it to be a cute little fight, you know, a matchup or whatever, where it ain't a whole lot of, you know, swinging and stuff. He wants it to be a very slow pace, you know, pretty fight. You know, he don't want no ugly fight. So I think Hamza need to go in there and make it ugly. You know, shit, hit him up on the side of the head, hit him in the hip, you know, body shots, you know, if he try to hold you, try to, you know, twist his elbow or something. No, don't be dirty, but don't let Diego Pacheco do all of this holding on shit, man. You know, disgusted, man. And it's crazy because people pick and choose on when to flame people for having boring performances. What's up, Hawk? And Long Wolf, what's going on, dog? You know, people like to pick and choose who they want to flame for these boring ass matches, for dudes who like to hold, dudes who like to run and keep distance and all that. A lot of people didn't want to say nothing about Diego Pacheco, you know, maybe because he got a hefty fan base, maybe because he's Hispanic, but damn that shit, man. That shit was trash. You know, boring fighters are, you know, boring fighters are boring fight. And I'm just calling it like I see it. You know, Diego Pacheco and the fight that I just seen recently, Freezy Macbones versus this one guy, you know, those two fights was like, I had never seen more holding than in those two fights right there. You know, I don't even know who held more, Diego Pacheco or Freezy Macbones' opponent. So I do not want to see another fight where Diego Pacheco is hugging up on another man, for 12 rounds. I don't want to see this shit, you know? And I'm just shocked with this type of weak-ass performance Diego had. You know, he gets another opportunity, and it's probably going to be a main event, you know? And it's going to be unfortunate if Diego goes in there and make it a snooze fest again, and Hamza Sheeraz can't land the big punch to turn the fight around. You know, hopefully Hamza can, you know, force Diego Pacheco to fight, man. You know, Hamza has to make it a fight. Diego wants to make it a you know, just a clean boxing match. You know, which is cool. If you're gonna box. But this holding shit, get that shit the hell out of here. I don't want to see that. You know, so this matchup, you know, like I say, is gonna be made. It's gonna be a test for Diego Pacheco to see if this guy's really ready. You know, to see if this guy's really tough enough to deal with the top level contenders and champs at 168, because I believe they've been moving him real, you know, real soft, like, man, real Charmin soft the way they moving Diego Pacheco. It is time to throw him in there. So now that they're doing this Hamza Sheeraz fight, we're gonna really see if Hamza Sheeraz can capitalize off the momentum he was able to gain, knocking out Goofy Edgar Berlanga, and going to this Diego Pacheco fight, and possibly, you know, elevate his status to another level, because I'm sure that's what Turkey Al Sheikh want. I'm sure that's what the fans of Saudi Arabia want, you know. With Riyadh season, you know, investing all these money into these Americans, Ukrainians, you know, these Irish people, all these people all over the world, I'm sure they will want their own, you know, one of their own athletes to be able to flourish and be the one that's considered the quote-unquote face of boxing, or the next top person to take over the sport. And I'm sure that that's what they will want, Hamza Sheeraz, even though I don't think he's good enough to do it. But they're going to do their very, very best to set this guy up to look good, you know, in 2026 for sure. And, you know, they're going to try to, you know, get this guy heavy pushing, maybe possibly keep him away from dogs like a Carlos Adames style fighter, you know, because we know that there's a blueprint on how to beat him. You know, there's a blueprint on how to beat Hamza Sheeraz. And I just don't think that Diego Pacheco blueprint is it, you know. Shout out to Boxing Antics. Salute UDC, my bro. They're trying to make Sheeraz the U.S. killers, how the Mexicans beat all the U.K. fighters. LOL. Yeah, I think so, man. I mean, it's kind of pretty plain to see that they're really trying to push Hamza Sheeraz, man, to, you know, take over boxing. Diego struggled against 80-year African. Hell yeah, man. This motherfucker look like a, you know, old ass man who lift weights still and shit. You know, and stay in shape. And yeah, man, that's what happens, man. Them old ass dudes, they say the power's the last thing to go. So, you know, clearly, because the way Diego is holding on, that man's definitely had power still. The way he's responding. Shout out to Lisa. Yeah, appreciate everybody that hit the like button, man. Appreciate y'all. So yeah, I don't have too much, man. I just wanted to give my early thoughts and prediction on Diego Pacheco versus Hamza Sheeraz. I got Hamza Sheeraz winning. I don't think he'll get the knockout, though. My early prediction, he won't get the knockout because Diego will hold on for dear life before he allows himself to get knocked out, man. I mean, whether he got to hold a ankle or the dude waist, he going to hold on for dear life, you know, before he goes out looking silly. Las D. Oh, man, why you ain't got a wrench? Let me give you a wrench, bro. Shout out to Las D Punch Out TV, man. One of my favorite UK boxing channels, man. I got you wrenched up. I don't know why you didn't have it wrenched, man, but you wrenched up now. Hawk said, I think I did see some of Diego's fight, but it was boring, so I forgot about it. Yeah, bro. You know, if you have a hard time sleeping, you know, if ASMR don't do it for you, watch Diego Pacheco fights. That'll do it. Before you know it, you're going to wake up like, what the fuck happened? And it's going to dawn on you like, oh yeah, that boring ass dude, Diego. Boxing Antics says, maybe Diego hype job started to see some crack. I think so too, man. I just think he's young. They, also too, I think he kind of may have made a mistake, you know, leaving his trainer too soon. He had a brand new trainer. And I believe he had just left Jose Benavidez Sr. So he went from being trained from Jose Benavidez Sr. and also being trained by Robert Garcia in the past to whoever this guy he had. I don't know. Maybe he just had a good, you know, low price. You know, some of these trainers, man, it's expensive. So I don't know. Maybe this new trainer had a low price. And so you got a low budget game plan. You know, you get for what you pay for. Because it definitely looked like they had a low budget, you know, a Walmart thrift store game plan, man. So Diego better have, I don't know, man, a whole nother level of a game plan. Target or something, you know, higher level, you know, Costco game plan or something. That thrift store shit, that ain't getting it done. Maybe he'll, you know, change trainers again. That's another thing I don't like, man, that I want to add to this, that dudes start, you know, for one reason or another, they'll leave a trainer that they've had history with, you know, won multiple fights with, and they'll get to the top or whatever, you know, to them they may feel like they're on top, and then they don't want to pay the trainer fee or whatever, and they feel like they want to get a different look or whatever. And a lot of times when the trainer don't know you like that, they can't really, tell you the things to bring the best out of you in that boxing ring, man. They don't know you well enough to know, like, you know, when you hurt or when you confused about something. Somebody who's been in the gym with you for multiple years, they're gonna know their fighter. So Diego Pacheco changed trainers and it looked like dog shit, man. So hopefully he don't look like dog shit versus Hamza Sheeraz. Otherwise, he gonna get his ass whooped. Diego didn't look good in this last fight, but I think he is a good fighter. Yeah, he's a good fighter. I mean, he's not a horrible fighter. He's a good fighter, but he's not a great. I got for me to set him apart from the pack, I can't be seeing this holding shit. You know, defense to me that ain't defense, man. That's desperation. That's survival tactics. When you holding dudes for 12 rounds, you know, if you can't use your feet, if you can't use your head movement, you know, it's for defense. Then you are, you might be a good fighter. You're just not great. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Shout out to I think I shout out Haplo too, man, when I first came up in here. But shout out to my bro Haplo. And everybody's just catching the playback, man. Y'all give y'all thoughts, man. Who y'all favor in this fight? Hamza Sheeraz or Diego Pacheco? Turkey, Riyadh season, Saudi Arabia's own Hamza versus Diego Pacheco. Diego's undefeated. Is Hamza Sheeraz still undefeated? Because he did have that draw versus Carlos Adames, even though he really lost. But maybe he's still undefeated. Yeah, he might be undefeated too. But yeah, man, we'll see. Right now, I'm favoring Hamza Sheeraz. And, as the months progress, we'll see what card it ends up on, how, one of these Grand Prix or Prix mode cards or whatever Riyadh season be coming up with. Bruce Gas, what's going on, fam? Big shout out, Bruce. Laz D says, has it been made for next year? It's going to be next year sometime. I'm not sure the date, but according to the reports, like I said, according to Ring, they say the WBO has already ordered it. So unless Diego pulls out, I don't see Hamza Sheeraz pulling out, but maybe Diego. Boxing says, we missed your live stream, UGC. We need to get back on it, bro. Hey, I've been actually going live quite a bit lately. I went live yesterday, the day before. Now, I haven't been doing the long ones, though. I only did, I think I did the last time I did a 4 or 5 hour stream was about 2 weeks ago, I think. I'm going to try to get another one in, man. One of them long joints in, man. Maybe tomorrow or the next. Dope fight if it happens, UGC. Yeah, man, maybe some people do think it's a dope fight. Hey, it's a cool fight. It's a good fight for Sheeraz. I think that they're feeding Diego to Sheeraz, man, for Sheeraz to shine, to look good. And if they get Diego Pacheco on his resume, man, that'll be something. That'll be something. Get an undefeated fighter on your resume. Even though he's young, he said no, Long Street Promotions. Shout out to ULX. Yeah, I'll be usually getting these 20 to 30 minute ones in or something like that. But yeah, man, I gotta have that real time set aside for them long joints. Depends on the ref and if he lets Pacheco be dirty. Yeah, the ref was just allowing this man to just slow dance in his last fight. I don't like that shit, man. I don't watch boxing matches for that type of weak shit. Hey, man, y'all have a great day. I thought you said something else. Yeah, y'all have a great day, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up for this one, man. And everybody that supports the UGC, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out.